to the perceived threat across the cage from you. All right, let's hold for a second. We have somebody at the door. I feel like Mr. Rogers. Who could it be? Ask him if he wants to be on camera. Come on in.
No, sir. Causing enough trouble myself.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You guys staying safe?
We're trying.
Awesome.
I don't know what the world's bringing to us.
I know. We're just going to, actually, that's exactly what we're talking about right now.
All right, I don't mean to disrupt you. I'll take just a minute.
Yeah, no worries. We've got Delray's finest in the house, fire department, keeping us safe with their inspection. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks again for everything you guys do.
Absolutely, thank you. Good.
I'm going to show in the other room. You can continue. It's rolling.
Are we? Okay. All right, we're rolling. We're back on. Lily's going to shut off the lights. We had our fine Delray Beach Fire Department in the house. So keeping us safe, inspecting us, making sure that everything is going to be okay. Joe Mullings, Untitled and Unfiltered. I am just back from a week-long holiday out in Telluride, Colorado. Fortunate enough to have a place out there, and you can imbibe on a lot of things out there that you can't down here in Florida. So I'm probably going to be a little more chill than usual on this, but nonetheless, still bring the heat for you. Hopefully inspire, as well as be a little more real and asking questions and asking you to go deep inside your own heart and brain. And, you know, today what I want to do is, it looks like we are not going to likely have a nice, easy exit out of this pandemic situation. Again, after spending a week out in Colorado and everywhere you had to have a mask on. Usually I just go to my house and come to the office. I don't have to worry about a mask too much. So it really hit me pretty hard while we were out there that the world is getting a lot more accustomed to wearing the Lone Ranger look on. So that's not going to go away. So with that, look, we're going to be in a fight. And as I've always mentioned, there's nothing more that I love than an unfair fight going on. So the cage door's closing. The devil's across the cage from you, and who do you want, or who is going to be by your side? And that question of who's going to be by your side, first and foremost, should be who inside you is going to be by your side. Are you going to put the scared person next to you, who when something goes less than optimal goes fetal? Or are you going to put the person next to you that when something goes sideways or less than optimal reacts as a human being would, right? Which is that immediate flinch and go, oh shit moment. But then how quick do you convert that to what I like to sort of refer to, my friend Tony Blauer calls it, move my axis forward. So what do I mean by that? So, you know, typically when something surprises you, right, you go back and your hands go up, right? And that's both mentally and physically. But then immediately what happens is you got to make a decision. Do you go fetal and curl up and hope that threat goes away, or wait for somebody else to make that threat go away for you? Or are you going to first go backwards, because that's normal, but then turn your axis forward, right? So what does that mean? That means go here and go fetal, or are you going to go here and go, no, not today. Now I'm going to come at you. And that means forward axis. So first of all, which version of you are you going to have standing next to you when that cage door has closed? The devil, which is every fear you have is across the cage from you. Which version of you are you going to bring? So, you know, are you going to bring the wartime general version of you or the peacetime general? Neither of them is wrong, but which is appropriate for what we're in the middle of. The second point is, as I lead people, this is the time that I remind them, while I'd love to make you comfortable, this is not the time nor the place for me to care about your comfort. This is the time and the place for me to care about your personal and professional development. It's during these times, and again, I think we're probably got all through 2021 personally that we're working into right now, and you're watching the strong adapt very quickly, and you're watching the weak sort of unravel, and I'm seeing it emotionally, physically, financially, and it's just that decision that you have to make. And so the version of you that you bring to this fight that we're in the middle of is going to be so, so critical because it's during this time, the next 12 to 18 months, that you are going to form the new you, that new version of you. And that new version of you is going to be every decision that you make moving forward. Every single time you can take that axis from being on your heels in that oh shit moment, moving that axis in a forward-facing ability. It doesn't mean reckless. It doesn't mean overly obnoxious. What it means is that you're going to go right at the challenge in front of you. That internal partner of yours that's standing right next to you as that proverbial devil is across the cage from you. You get in the habit of doing this every single day, every single week, every single month moving forward. There's going to be a bifurcation in society, I believe. Forget about that financial bifurcation for a second. I think what you're going to have is we're going to have a Mad Max moment that you're either going to be predator or prey in the world that's evolving right now. And this crucible that we're sitting in is the people who choose to do what's natural and go backwards for a second, but then quickly align. And I don't want to use that word pivot anymore, but pivot and first turning away from. I want to say get on that forward axis to go after aggressively, viciously, because that is the way that you can absolutely suffocate doubt inside. So start there. When I talk about that forward axis, that first forward axis has to be the internal decision you make of are you going to go fetal or are you going to go after something? Once you decide that internal axis, what it's going to be declared as, it then allows you to translate externally to the problem at hand. And so whether you're leading a family, whether you're leading an organization, whether you're just leading yourself, your heart and your mind, it's incumbent upon you to make sure that these next 18 months reveal the person that is inside you. I think every single person has that ability to develop incredible fortitude, mental, physical, intestinal fortitude in the environment we're in right now. This is actually a blessed period of time because I believe we were going through such a positive, easy time over the last 12 years that it created a lot of weakness and false strength in a number of people. And now we're in that oh shit moment where literally everything we could have ever thought of to date hit the fan, and you are going to see this bifurcation. Those who decide to go axis forward are going to end up wherever the other side of this is in a tremendously more options for them in life than those who don't. So I think that bifurcation, when you decide to go fetal and wait for somebody else to solve your problem versus forward axis and you go after solving those problems, once you start to work that muscle day, week, month, and year, take that down range. It's going to make a huge difference in who you are, who you lead, who you influence. And I'm talking about your sig other, your partner, your spouse, your children, your family members, all of that. So as this cage door is closing and you're looking at that devil across the cage, proverbial and mental devil, who are you going to have next to you? Take that version of yourself, awaken them, understand that it's going to be like exercising. Your very first day you make that decision, you're going to be the weakest. And over time, give yourself the confidence you'll become strong enough. This is Joe Mullings with Untitled and Unfiltered. Good to be back.